everyone, it's Melissa. Today I wanted to talk about my tips and what really helped me when I first started on Retin. I started on Retin back in we got married in '86 and it was about a year later, so about '87, something like that. So it's been close to 30 years that I've been using Retin. Now, I've taken breaks from it because, I would always think that something better came along, or a new line or a new product that I wanted to try. And so I would have to go ahead and, when I realized that this product wasn't as good as Retin, I would go back on the Retin and I would have to start all over again with being careful using it. And in fact, when I first started doing YouTube, I was rather sick. And so I had taken a break from Retin because I thought maybe I thought maybe I shouldn't use it because it's got so many chemicals in it. And so I was using Lancome. And so I used Lancome, I guess, about a year. Yeah, probably about a year. Maybe not even that long. And I didn't like the way my skin looked. So I went back on the Retin and Obagi, so I kind of had to start over again. So I've had to do these hints several different times. I remember the doctor said the most important thing was to just to let Retin do its job and not do a lot of things that's going to interfere with it. I remember the first thing he said was not to use alcohol, any kind of alcohol products while you're using Retin, because the alcohol is really irritating to your skin, and add the Retin on top of that and you're just going to end up in a lot of trouble with really irritated skin. So, especially toners, I remember toners would sometimes have a lot of alcohol in it. So he would always say to read the labels. Excuse me. He would always say to read the labels and, watch out for having alcohol in the products when you use Retin. And I remember the next thing he said to do was to use a mild soap. He was real big on using Dove soap. And so that's what I did. And what I would do is he would tell me not to use anything else except my fingers. Do not use any kind of exfoliating. He told me never use a washcloth. And to this day, I use washcloths that I make myself, but they aren't as rough as like a terry cloth or something like that. They're pretty mild. So, and I've been using Retin for years, but he said don't ever use a washcloth. Don't use like a complexion brush, anything like that. And just anything, any kind of, when you cleanse, he said not to use anything that was rough at all. Just to only use your fingers to gently clean it, and not to use a wiping motion at all. He said that would just help. That would peel the skin off and it would irritate it and make it rough. So what I remember doing was I would take Dove soap, because that's what he told me to use, and just wet my face real well, and then just rub the Dove soap all over it. Rub the Dove soap all over it. And then just gently with my fingers make a foam on my face and neck and rinse it off. And at nighttime I would do it a second time because I would have worn makeup all day. So I would rub the Dove soap, or sometimes I would do it in my hands and just get a lather up, and then just do it gently on my skin and on my neck, and then rinse it off. I wouldn't do the neck twice because it wouldn't usually have makeup on it. I would just do my face. So I would do that. He said to do that, and then to wait 20 minutes and let everything settle down, get kind of back to normal, and then use just a pea size of the Retin on my face. I would use a little bit extra because I put it on my neck too. But I remember at first I just did it on my neck about 2 or 3 times a week because it really irritated my neck. But I used it every night on my face, and I used the strongest, the 0.1. So, and he said always pat and not rub when you're drying. So I wash my face, rinse it off with water, and then just gently pat dry, and that's all. And then wait 20 minutes and then put on my Retin and use a pea size. Don't use too much, he said. Use a pea size, and then kind of dot it on your face, and then just lightly rub it all around. And I remember him saying that you're getting more on there than you think you are. It feels like it isn't spreading and it feels like it isn't going to different places, but it really is more than you think it is. And if you use too much, you're going to get a lot of irritation. So that was a big hint that he told me, is to, never ever scrub the face, only pat dry, not use alcohol, and just wash, wait 20 minutes, because the water can any water left on your face can irritate, and then gently put it on. And then he said if I needed to use a moisturizer to use, back then they said Nivea, did real well with Retin A. I remember using a Nivea moisturizer, but I don't remember what kind it was. I'm sure any kind of mild moisturizer. I think the trick was to make it a mild moisturizer if you needed it. So I think, the CeraVe, just something that's just a real gentle, mild moisturizer on top of it if you need it. I didn't particularly need it. I didn't feel like, I didn't mind the tightness. I didn't mind the peeling or anything like that. So I tended not to do that. But I remember he recommended a real light moisturizer, and then that was all. He said, do not use anything else. He said not to use toners, not to use any other kind of products, to keep it really simple. Just to let Retin A do its job, and if you start adding a lot of other things, you're going to risk the potential for just a lot of irritation. You're going to have enough irritation with just the Retin A. So you won't know if it's the Retin A or if it's the other products you're adding to it. But I remember them stressing to me to really just use soap, water, Retin A, Nivea. Just only those things, and don't use anything else. And just be really careful and not rub my skin, just only to pat dry. And then, if you want to add your vitamin C serum, do that in the mornings at a later date. I remember back then the Celac C was getting really popular, and I tried it, and it just absolutely burnt my skin. Oh, it was just burnt and stung so badly. So I stuck with the Retin A for a while, for several months, and then tried the vitamin C serum again, and I was more successful with it. And I gradually added the vitamin C serum, like about 3 mornings a week was all. But I was very slow to add all that, slow to add my Obagi, and I think I was able to be more successful that way by going slowly and just letting Retin A, getting used to Retin A first, and really getting used to it where I could use it every night, where I wasn't peeling all the time, and not using other products. And I think the main thing is just to be consistent with it and to be really patient with it. I think you have a tendency to want to do, I think we have a tendency, because there's so many cosmetics out there, and there's so many skincare products, we just see it all the time, that we think that we're supposed to be using those too. And really, I think that's kind of maybe sometimes when we can get in trouble. If you can be patient and let Retin A do its job, let your skin get used to the vitamin A, and just see how your skin's going to do only with it, then I think you have a higher rate of success. At least it was for me. It was that way for me. I just had to keep it simple. And I still keep it simple, but I really kept it simple when I first started using it. Just about those 3 items, and that was it. And that's what my doctor really encouraged me to do. But I guess the main thing is to be careful. Don't rub, only pat dry. Don't scrub with any other exfoliating devices or anything like that. Just gently rub. Use a mild soap or a mild cleanser. You could use like a baby wash, or they suggested Dove soap. Pat dry. Use a sunscreen. Use a moisturizer, a very mild moisturizer if you need to. Wait for it to dry at night. Wait the 20 minutes to dry, and then let the Retin A soak in, and wait 10 minutes more before you put a moisturizer on if you feel like you need it. Back off a day if you need it, and just use a moisturizer that night. I used mine straight on and just went through and got through all the peeling over with. But you can always back off and just use it a couple of nights a week until you get used to it. And then the other nights, just use a moisturizer. But be careful adding a lot of products to it. Just at first, let your Retin A do its job and let your skin get used to it, because I do think it's going to be worth it. It's just if you can get through it, it's a really good backbone, a really good basis for your skincare and to, go into old age. So I think that's everything. Like I said, it was a little spur of the moment, probably a little sporadic and all over the place, but I really appreciate everyone watching. I hope everyone has a wonderful rest of the week, and I'll talk to everyone soon. Bye-bye.